Women's Sports Mix.
Cambridge Radio.
Hello, I'm Amy Gray.
And I'm Alex Elbro, and we are the A-Team.
We did it.
Yeah, actually, I know, it's sounding good now, isn't it?
Welcome to the Women's Sports Mix, where we talk about all kinds of sports and activities for women and girls in the region. And our focus this week is on disability football and walking football.
We're talking to sports coach Phil Mullen, who runs many disability sessions for people of all ages, and one of his participants, Eloise Tucker-Brown, who recently won an Outstanding Contribution Award for her commitment and influence within Phil's disability football programme.
We'll also be checking in with our women's football teams and a bit of reaction from Alex and I about some sporty stories. There's been a few things that caught our eye this week.
Things seem to be really suddenly hotting up, don't they?
Yeah, we've got football, rugby, boat race has been announced as well. Got that coming up. And maybe if we've got time, what we've been up to, and I'm sure we'll have time for Alex Elbro's favourite programme in the entire world.
Gladiators.
Alex sang it on the last episode, and I was not ready.
No, I'm not sure I was either.
I was loving that one. Very good. And you can contact the show, wsm@cambridge.radio, if you'd like to tell us about your sport or team, or just get in touch with us. And you can follow us on Instagram, women's_sportsmix. This is Amy and Alex on the Women's Sports Mix. Phil Mullen is a sports coach who runs disability football sessions in the Cambridge area for people of all ages and all disabilities. Phil also coaches walking football and offers dedicated sessions for women and girls across walking and disability football. Alex and I caught up with Phil earlier to learn more. Phil, how long have you been teaching disability sports?
Disability sports, nearly 13 years.
And how long have you been coaching
Coaching altogether, in general, about 20 years.
And what was it that made you think, I'm going to go for the disability sports?
It's quite an interesting story. It was quite by chance. I got involved first in coaching football with helping my boys. Brought my boys down to their football session with another coach and manager, and lots of parents would drop their kids and then leave. I decided to stay, watch, and if they were taking shots at the goal, I would go and collect the balls and kick them back to the coach to keep the drill going longer for them, so they all got more beneficial use out of their time. It then grew from that to the coach and manager at that time becoming friends. They asked me to do other little jobs to help them out, put up the nets, put out the goal, the corner flags, etc. and help out with some of the drills and bits and pieces. Then as a coach, you don't keep your coaching badge. You've got to do CPD events. And they said, you wouldn't come along with us. We need to have a bit of a laugh, someone to talk to, a bit of company.
CPD?
Continuous professional development. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you keep getting upskilled all the time, learning new things, new drills, etc. Yeah, new ways to coach, which are quite interesting as well. It then went on to, we got lots of other kids coming to that session, and the coach and manager at the time said to me, these kids are welcome to come to our session, but we've got our team, and some of the kids on our team have been with us since age 5. They're now under 11s, and they're going to remain loyal to those kids. If these other extra kids are enjoying the sessions, they're welcome to come, but they're unlikely to get match time. We had another team in the club that had the same issue, so we started asking, if somebody wanted to become coach, manager for that team, so asking the parents and carers. When we were unsuccessful in finding somebody, I said, well, if nobody else does, I will, to give these kids a chance to play more competitive football.
That's what they need, people to step up as volunteers at grassroots football.
Yeah, this is something that's come across before when we've talked to people. If it wasn't for all the volunteers, like you said, being there and just collecting the balls or putting the flags out, all that takes time, and all that takes all those people, which other people don't always realise or always think it's somebody else's job. But if once you step up and do it, you get such a reward from it as well, don't you?
Yeah, and it was really good. I loved doing it. Some of those kids, back then we were under under 11s when my boy started. I was still managing the team at under 13s for that club, and some of those kids then are now grown up, full grown men. I see them about every now and again. They've sent me friend requests on Facebook and stuff, which is really cool.
It does. It means a lot, doesn't it, when you have a coach when you're a kid? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It also makes you feel old, I know, because I used to teach, and when you see some of the people that you taught when they were very little, and they've gone all the way through university, come out the other end, and you and I still think of them as that little child.
It is, you do, don't you? Yeah, definitely. No, it's really strange. And I've met people out on the street and they say, "Oh, hello, Phil," and I expect I'm the same height, I'm a bit greyer and what have you, but more or less the same. And especially with the boys, they've grown up so much taller from little dots when you started coaching them to now really
instead of
big
looking
grown
up,
men.
Instead of looking down at them, then you're looking up at them.
And they're filled out and big deep voices and all that, so totally changed. But if you look closer, you can still see it in the eyes, in the face.
So from doing the football coaching, you then started looking at disability sports. What was the thing that made you do that? That
was because I was involved in football and had my coaching badges. I was also helping out a friend, a football-related job, and he was actually coaching disability football at the time for Cambridgeshire Football Association. And he phoned me up early one Saturday morning and said, "Oh, Phil, I desperately need a favour. I've got a 3-legged cat at home that was a rescue. It's had a little bit of an accident and needs an emergency visit to the vets, but I'm supposed to be doing the disability coaching. Could you grab a bag of footballs and bibs and run over to the venue and do a disability football session for us?" And I thought, wow, I've never dealt much with people with different disabilities and stuff in the past, so I was really nervous. He said, "But you're my last call, I've got nobody else." And I said, "Okay." He's a good friend of mine, so I'll do it for you, mate. Got in there really, really nervous, introduced myself to the players and the parents and carers, got the footballs out, started doing a few bits and pieces of drills and what have you, and within 10 minutes just absolutely loved it. It was great. They were lovely. People tried so hard for you, and the kindness that they showed to each other as well was hugely evident. Yeah, and fiercely competitive as well. It was really good fun. Yeah, so absolutely loved it since then.
Are there modifications that you have from doing football coaching, I'll call it mainstream football coaching, and then looking at pan-disability sports, I think people often call it, where it's people with different disabilities and health conditions? Are there modifications you make so it's accessible for them?
Yes, there are different ones, and the pan disability that you mentioned, that means people with various different disabilities. So you could have some people with Down syndrome, you could have some with cerebral palsy, some with visual impairments, etc., and mix them all up together. That's a pan team. You can also do specialist impairment specific sessions. So it depends on who you're working with. There are modifications, adaptations, things that you can change to suit. One of the big ones that gets sometimes confused is the difference between players with a visual impairment and players that are blind. Players that are blind play with an audible ball, so it's a football that's got rattles in it. Those that are visually impaired tend to use what beneficial eyesight they have, and then you use bright colours like bright yellow bibs against red, colours that stand out and stand out against the background as well. Depending on the venue that you're using, some have different colour flooring. For some that are on a light floor, I've had players say that they prefer a red or a dark colour ball so they can track that easier. When you're on a dark floor, like a blue floor, like we tend to use over at Coleridge quite a bit, players tend to choose either a yellow or a white ball. It stands out a bit more for them.
Did you have to have specific coaching training for the disabilities, for coaching disabilities? It feels like because of that, you need to know like different drills and feel comfortable with working with different people.
You can go and get a disability coaching qualification that sort of covers it all, but I preferred I'd done that, and then I'd done the extra ones as well. So I'd done a specialist one for coaching the blind, a different one for coaching the visual impaired, a different one for coaching the deaf, a different one for coaching cerebral palsy, different one again for Down syndrome, and loads of different ones over the years.
Which is great, because then you know what all the differences are, and even if you have a PAN team, you know what to play to people's strengths and weaknesses, and know which things are better. Like you said, you need different colour balls for certain people, but for others that's not going to be a problem. But other things are going to be maybe like strength or coordination, for instance. Yeah,
and one of the best ways for me, regardless of all the courses, etc., is just speaking to and asking people, and they'll explain and tell you. Yeah, everybody's different, and I treat everybody as an individual. So even if you get two mainstream neurotypical ladies come to a session, one could be good at passing a ball, the other might not be quite as good as that, but her strength might be that she's good at dribbling with the ball really quickly. So yeah, everybody's different.
Of course, that's a very good point, and it's a very valid point that people don't always think of it like that, do they?
Phil, do you have sessions for women or for girls?
I have a few sessions, yeah. So I do a girls only session for young girls that is supported by Cherry Hinton Lions, which is the club that I mentioned earlier that I used to help out with all those years ago. That's 20 odd years ago. So I'm still involved in helping them out now, which is really nice. Yeah, so I've got a girls only one for young girls aged 8 to 11 years on Saturdays at 4 o'clock. Which my own daughter is now attending as well, which is really cool. From that session, I will then speak to parents and carers that come along when we get enough girls coming, to then see if somebody wants to step up and become a manager, coach, etc. And when we get volunteers, we then try and make teams. Been lucky with that one in the past. We've had one of the mums step up and say that she'd be the manager for the team. One of the dads said he'd be her assistant. So off they went, picked the girls that they wanted for the team, made the team. As soon as they made the team, they then get more interest from others, and off they go and play proper competitive football in a league. And they're all still together, still playing football and enjoying it. Still see some of the girls in a school that I coach now, they come in for Irish dancing as well. So I still get to see the first group, which is really cool, really nice.
Do you have I guess maybe 18 plus sessions for women as well? Is that separate, or is it 16 and above for those?
For disability, I've got a 16 plus female only session. Again, if possible and if there's a desire, I'll try and help support and build them into teams. At the moment, we do fun football sessions, teaching them lots of different techniques which we turn into skills, do lots of drills, and always have a little fun match at the end as well.
I think it's really important, isn't it, to show for everybody that there is some sport and activity for everyone, because it is very good for mental health as well as for like coordination and strength building for various muscles that could be doing, and you're doing it in a fun way rather than just sitting in a gym doing exercises. And especially for the younger ones, it must feel a bit tedious if you have to do your set of exercises or whatever. But to do that and make it fun and meet other people as well, and see there's lots of different people out there having fun too.
There's lots of things
enjoyed. Sports to be enjoyed,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And that's what I try and do. I try and create an environment where the players, the individual player, enjoys it. If they enjoy it, they'll come back. If they come back, it doesn't matter if they didn't get what I was trying to teach them the first time. As long as they come back, then I've got a second opportunity to try and help them understand and learn it and improve.
I mean, I was going to say, just thinking about that, you said about the two neurotypical women, and they'll be different. Not all of us, funny enough, are going to get to the Olympics or any major international team, and it's going to be the same for everything. We all play it for fun. We do stuff for fun, don't we? So nobody has to be the top of anything. Saying that, look at the Paralympics has taken off, unbelievably, and they have some great blind football in that. You see them playing, oh my goodness, it's incredible. They're a good role models, but they don't mean that you need to think that you're going to have to be in the team unless, if you're not good enough for that, you're not going to do anything. we try and promote on here that it's just getting up and doing exercise and being out in the air with friends, making friends and resilience and all that sharing.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more that goes on in a football session than just kicking a ball about.
Yeah.
You do have the social side of thing, and one thing I say is that everybody that comes, when you play on a team, your teammates and mates or friends that you play football with. Yeah, the Paralympics is a good one. The blind football is a good one. I've been lucky enough. When he lived in Cambridge, I coached Roy Tornham. Roy was captain of England blind football at the time. Absolutely amazing individual, really talented person, not just at football, but at all sorts. Very good people's person, bit of a musician as well. He plays guitar, drums, and bit of a singer as well, but really good people's person. I think I've learnt more from him than he's learnt from me, to be honest. It's great. I did have the FA come to my sessions a few years after Roy had left, and they came to thank me for the work that I'd done with Roy while he lived in Cambridge, and they said that he is now rated as the best male blind football player in Europe, not just England.
There we go.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, he's an amazing dude.
Phil, have you noticed in the years that you've been coaching, you now have women and girls sessions? Has that always been the case? Has there always been the same amount of women and girls to boys and men? Has that changed over the years?
I don't recall there being specific disability sessions for girls only, for females only. And that came up from... It wasn't my idea, it was the girls that were attending. Some said they would prefer their own. And I said, well, I'll look into it, see what I can do, and if there's enough interest to make a session worthwhile.
That's what's going to come down to for you, isn't it? As coaching and putting on sessions, you need to have the people there, otherwise you're going to have to not be able to have enough to run the session.
For me, it just depends on what I do, because I've got enough drills in the store to pull out, and
20 years worth of drills.
Quite happy to do a one-to-one.
Oh, okay.
But I do find that more people you have, the more match-like it is, the more match-realistic it is, and I think it's more fun as well, because as you said earlier, it's
a bit intense, isn't it? If you're just you with the coach, that'd be quite scary.
But you also then get the social bit out of it as well, because you've got other friends there that personalities can bounce off and build on. And because, of course, they'll come from different schools and different areas of Cambridge as well. So you are making, like you say, a whole group of new friends, aren't you? Yeah. No, so it's a great way of bringing people together to do an activity together, to learn together. And they do create little bonds that seem to last as well.
And you also do women's walking football. Who are those sessions aimed at?
At the moment, I've got a women's only walking football session. I've got two groups that are mixed to one. And again, it's player's choice. It is for females only that are 30 plus, and another one that is for females only 50 plus. So we tend to have the two going in one half of the hall each. By choice, the females can mix the age groups together to make it work or whatever. They tend to always join together.
So what's the difference between walking football? I mean, apart from the obvious, it says walking, but have people been taking that up because it's just less hard on your body? Why would they do that as opposed to normal football?
For various different reasons. One, as we age, the body does tend to wear. You won't be as quick and lively, nimble, agile as once we were, although some of us still like to think we are. My left knee thinks otherwise. But it's just a slower form of the game. It's a safer form of the game. There are more rules in walking football than there is in mainstream football, if you like. A lot of the sessions are tailored at individual sessions as well. We put in a shoulder high rule that the ball cannot go above shoulder high of the shortest person at the session. So that avoids... that would avoid somebody getting accidentally hit in the face with the ball. There is no contact player to player. So for those that don't like the physical contact, it's another way of making the game safer for them. There's no slide tackling, no tackling from behind or the side. You can tackle Well, you're facing straight on in front of somebody, you can intercept the ball. At some sessions we put in a 3-touch rule to promote passing the ball about more to each other, so you've only got 3 touches. So after your second one you must get rid of the ball, or it's a foul if you touch it too many times.
I think they should have that in mainstream football as well.
Yeah. I also introduce a shooting rule on some of them, that you've got to be inside a certain area before you can shoot. Again, that promotes inclusion and the build-up of play. Gets the ball passing about so everybody gets a touch. Some sessions, if we've got people that like to be goalkeepers, then we will have goalkeepers if they're dedicated goalkeepers and like to do so. Other sessions, I've got two sets of small pop-up goals that are really small ones. They're only about 2.5 foot wide, and I put one in one corner of the goal, the other in the opposite corner of the goal. You cannot then go in the goal area. There's usually a D on the 5-a-side pitches, so all shots must be from outside of that. If it goes in the big goal, you get 1 point for it. If it goes in either of the small ones, you get 3.
Sort of a top bins situation.
Yeah, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Again, these things.
It's good to mix it up, isn't it? And it keeps the interest, doesn't it? And especially if you say you're getting different people or different abilities each time. And again, you're encouraging people into something that they probably would never have thought of when they were younger. Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of, when I see people and I say, would you like to come and try? Oh, I couldn't do football. That's not for me. And I say, come along, give it a go. Let me show you. Yeah. And I bet you can.
Yeah. No, it sounds brilliant.
Something we always hear is the FA do this. I'm sure other places I've heard it as well. We need to do more. Look at what people can get out of this if we're more inclusive and there's more access. As someone that's actually out there delivering these sessions, do you feel that's actually improving? And is the support there to do these aims that people have, but is it actually working?
Interesting one. I get a lot of feedback from parents, carers and players themselves that have tried various different sessions, including other disability sessions, and some work, some don't. I think a lot depends on the individual. Everybody's personality is different. Every coach's personality is different. I'm lucky, for some reason some people seem to like me and stick. Others make sensible decisions and go elsewhere. Yeah, it's nice that it is nice that there are more opportunities for people to get involved and play, especially in the mixed disability sector. That's nice. But I've always believed that it's a little bit more special if you can get impairment-specific sessions. That way, it's not just having an impairment-specific team, which can go and play in various different national competitions and that, which is really nice for them. But it's just having the more tailored support in their support groups. So they're playing with people that are like themselves. Again, it's bringing the parents, carers together, where hopefully the parents and carers can speak to each other as well and share experiences and knowledge. And somebody may have heard of a technique that they've been using for years and somebody's been struggling with a certain thing, so they can pass across useful information to each other and build a little community, not just for the football side of it, but for helping each other outside of it as well.
Yeah, no, I think that sounds brilliant. And I hadn't really thought, although it's kind of obvious when you said it, of course, every time when you're bringing a group like that together, there's the whole kind of team, as it were, around them. And if they're getting to talk to other people, it really feels that they're not alone either. And then they can, like you say, have you heard about this thing or whatever? It's really good. And maybe they go to see something together, or they do something outside of that and go and watch some sport or do something which they may not have felt particularly included or feel that they weren't sure about, but if they're going together, then you're feeling a bit more empowered, aren't you?
Yeah. And it's great to empower people and bring people together. And that's the story of the Cambridge Special Olympics football group that we've just started. That is, lots of the players that were coming to my sessions were enjoying the sessions, and then when they were suddenly no longer available, lots of the parents and carers contacted me and said, is there something you can do, etc. So we got together with the parents and carers and we decided to start the Cambridge Special Olympics project, and that is just the parents and carers of the players that are on the committee. So we're building and making teams, and then hopefully going into different competitions and the Special Olympics competitions and other things as well. So really exciting time.
Yeah, we'll have to let us know as that progresses.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
And you had this fundraiser for the power chair and wheelchair football sessions. Well, everyone's got behind this, and you have hit your target. But it was a modest target, and there's always room to do more, isn't there? So people, is it GoFundMe people can go to for that one?
Yeah, I've got it up on my Facebook.
Do you want to explain what it's for?
It is for the power chair football sessions. So the biggest challenge for me is the cost of putting the session on. It's specialist equipment. Luckily, I've bought some over the years that I've been doing it and bought more since. I do have a number of manual wheelchairs that are skip rescues or donations. But the biggest cost was the cost of the venue, to hire the venue to put the sessions on. So decided to start a little GoFundMe to try and support the sessions going forward, and thankfully we have hit our target. So I've got 2 weekly wheelchair power chair sessions now in Cambridgeshire that people can attend to, and they do cater for those that use manual wheelchairs along with those that use power chairs as well. Yeah, they're really good fun. I've got one out in Camborne, and that one is supported by Camborne Town. We get quite a lot of players that come from Sense, the charity for the deaf blind charity. Yeah, and some of them have been coming since day one of that session.
Yeah.
And,
is that a mixed session, men and women? Is it for the
Yeah, it's open to anyone that is a power chair, wheelchair user.
So if someone's interested in those sessions or any of the sessions you've spoken about and wants to hear more about what you're doing, how can they find you? Or if someone listening to this knows somebody they think might be of interest?
Best way to contact me is by phone on 07948 407 950, or email, which is phil@philmullensportscoaching.com, or visit me on my Facebook page, Phil Mullen Sports Coaching.
Cambridge Radio Women's Sports Mix.
You're listening to the Women's Sports Mix with Alex and Amy.
Hello.
Thank you very much to Phil Mullen for his chat with us earlier. And please do get in touch with Phil with any questions about what session might be right for you. As he told us, he'll fit anyone in, which is really lovely.
It is. And Phil also had said to us about the Special Olympics programme that he does. They run each age group after the other so that the younger people will see the people in the next group.
Yes, I remember now.
So he said if there's any sort of feeling comfortable about moving up to the next age bracket, he's made sure they already know those people when they do move up to the next age bracket.
Yeah, so it's not such a daunting thing to move into what would feel probably everyone's a bit bigger than you. Yeah. Like when you move schools and everything. I thought it was a really lovely idea.
Well, we did have a great time talking to sports coach Phil Mullen, and I also caught up with Eloise Tucker-Brown. Eloise attends Phil's disability sessions for females 16 and above. Last year, Eloise was awarded the Stephen Barry Award for Outstanding Contribution. This was from the Cambridge United Foundation as recognition of her commitment, progress and influence within Phil's disability football programme. I chatted to Eloise earlier and asked how long she'd been playing football and how she got into it.
I've been playing football for 13 years, and the way I got into it was purely by chance, really. There was a young lad who'd just joined secondary school, and he had cerebral palsy, which is the same disability as I have. And he really wanted to play football for the school team, and unfortunately he couldn't, and his mum had the idea of setting up a friendly football session for people with cerebral palsy so he could feel included, and this email just circled around and I took the opportunity and I've never looked back, really.
You play in a mixed ability team. What kind of mixed abilities are there?
So there's quite a range, really. There's autism, I'd say. There's a person with spinal injuries who I play with, a person with mental health issues. So it's quite a broad range.
What is the thing? You've been playing for 13 years, so I'm guessing you enjoy it. What is it that you enjoy most about it, and what do you get out of it?
I get so much out of it. I just love the opportunity, and if you told my younger self you'd be playing football at the age of 22, I would have laughed in your face. But the thing I really enjoy is that it's not just about kicking a ball, it's the social element, like meeting people like yourself, and just being in that environment is really good. And I think more people growing up especially need to have those opportunities.
And what's the most challenging aspect of it?
The most challenging aspect, I would say, is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, because even if you have the right environment, you yourself are the person to blame if things go wrong, or the person that celebrates. And I think, although it's challenging, you need to be pushed out of your comfort zone to pursue in life.
You are wearing your England kit at the moment. So tell me, how did you get into the Lionesses?
I got into the Lionesses about 3 years ago. Watching the Women's Euro 2022 was absolutely fantastic, because that's the first time I saw a professional team play football, and they were really enjoying themselves, and you could see that. And it's just a really good thing, and England won, which adds to it.
It helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We do. Our women are winners of football. And how did it feel to receive the Outstanding Contribution Award from the Cambridge United Foundation?
It felt amazing, because I'd been there for ages, and to be recognised was so good, because it represents me, it represents Phil, who's just amazing, and it just all came together in that moment. I think what I've been doing for the last 10 plus years, and it was really good to be recognised.
When Eloise got this award, it was also for her influence within the game, which is what we like to hear at the Women's Sports Mix, influencing other people, helping other people. Very well done, Eloise. Have you always had the access that you want to the activities that you're interested in doing?
I'd say I have, yeah. I have been quite lucky, because I did want to try sport, and yeah, I think I've got access to what I want to do, and I've been very lucky, especially growing up.
Many thanks to Eloise Tucker-Brown. And you may have noticed this, Alex, did you, that Phil has been coaching disability football for 13 years. Eloise has been playing for 13 years. Eloise was at the Paulie Cat initiation of Phil when he did his first
Yes,
session.
I think he may not have mentioned it. He did mention it when we were talking to him off air, because he said that she's been there and she's so keen and so positive, and encourages others in the team, so gets them all friendly as well.
Yes,
so it's really
Phil had
lovely.
lots of nice things to say about Eloise, and Eloise did say to me when we were in the studio that she could talk about Phil for the entirety of the Women's Sports Mix episode. So they're making a good team there, and I was smiling and laughing when Eloise said about the Lionesses. Finally, a professional football team that are enjoying themselves, Alex.
That wins as well.
And wins, yes.
Well, yes. And the Lionesses are playing tonight. If you are listening on a Tuesday, the 8th of April, they have got their return game with Belgium. They smashed them on, am I allowed to say that? Yes. On Friday night. They playing in Bristol. And in Bristol, I'm going to say it was at the Ashton Gate Stadium, which is often used for rugby, which is why that's why I'd heard of it, because I think that's where they play the big rugby matches.
Have you been
as well.
there? I thought maybe you might have been.
No, I haven't been there, but I feel like because I go to one of my sons live in Bristol, I think I will now, because I hadn't really sort of thought about it before. But yeah, they beat Belgium on Friday 5-0. And in Bristol, but so the attendance was, wait for it, 23,200.
I think it was sold out, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. And this is people, who's it says that people don't want to watch women's games.
There's quite a lot of people, considering no one's interested.
And I had sort of forgotten, really, that the Euros are in Switzerland 2nd to 17th of July this year.
Yes.
That's going to be exciting. It's 16 teams, so it's the third time. I was about to say third year, but it's not third year because it's every 4 years like everything else. But then, is it 4 years? No, every other year. What's Euros? Every 4 years. Yeah. I get mixed up. And then, of course, they skipped the COVID year. Cup, so that's all now why all the dates have gone all out of sync. And then we've got the World Cup in 27, 2 years on.
So, 2 years cycle of the different comps.
But I can tell you, tonight, the Lionesses are going back to Belgium for the return game. And they said, it was confusing me because they beat them 5-0 I watched it on telly, and it looked like they were just all over them. It was
coasting.
Great, yeah. But they were saying that they're getting revenge because this was the game that they lost in 23. That then made that they didn't qualify for the Olympics, which was gutting.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Holding grudges is good.
Yeah, so they're going back. They said they're going back to get their revenge, but I feel like they've only had a few days and they've played them anyway. So
have you not had enough?
Exactly.
No?
It feels like they're already onto that. So that's tonight. So I will be getting straight back from here to watch that. And also, if you support any of the other people in the United Kingdom, like the other teams, they're not doing so well.
Alex has been
I've been watching it while we've been listening to Phil. I was also watching the live updates, and now I can't find them at all. Oh yeah, Scotland haven't won.
Wasn't looking good.
Yeah, it's so 6-1 to Germany.
Ouch.
And Ireland's starting at 7, so they're still to play. And Wales, bear with me a moment. I am looking. I'm sort of scrolling through as I do it. So it's interesting. Ireland, Republic of Ireland. Oh no, they're playing Greece at 7:30. Ireland aren't playing to 7, and Lionesses aren't playing to 7:30. It must be a time difference thing, I guess. And Wales were doing. Still, actually, Wales aren't doing too badly. Still, half time 0-0.
Okay, well, thank you.
So we'll
live
see about
updates
that.
here from Alex.
Exactly. That's really live.
Now, at this point of the show, we would normally speak to Liz Pamplin. I'm sorry, Alex. I haven't spoken to Liz this week because the U's haven't had a fixture for the last couple of weeks, but they have been able to concentrate on that upcoming Queen's Park Rangers game, and this is at Loftus Road.
Yeah, I know. So it's impressive, isn't it?
I assume they don't normally play there, so this is like their big game. So that's a cool away day. So if you do want to go to Loftus Road, you can get tickets via the QPR website. Kickoff is this Sunday, which is April 13th at 2 p.m. And the U's final league game of the season is 2 weeks after that, April 27th. Where, Alex?
At the Abbey. And are we going, Amy?
Yay, we're going.
We're going, and I'm going to wear my top I got for Christmas.
Yes, please do.
So I'll be wearing that, and I haven't got any other merch, but I feel like I need to. I got some for my son. Maybe I have to nick it off him. Maybe get him to come. But yeah, anyone that's free on April the 27th, come to the Abbey and see the Cambridge United women play their last game. I haven't actually put who's playing. Who they're playing against?
Chatham, I think.
There you go.
And
we don't care.
And all of the games in hand have been played in the U's League, which is Division 1 South East, what they play in. Relegation has been decided. That's London Seaward and Ashford Town will be exiting the league. And at the top, Norwich need to win their remaining games and hope that Real Bedford lose. Otherwise, Bedford are going to be taking that league title.
Interesting. Because I thought Norwich were such a strong team that they were going to do even better, but that's the way it is. Yeah,
between those two for that. And looking at Cambridge City, who are hoping to survive relegation in their league, their chances did take a bit of a blow because they had a loss at the weekend. This was Sunday the 6th of April, 2-0 away to Enfield Town. There are 3 games to go. They've got Royston and St Albans away, Stevenage at home. They really realistically need to win at least 2 of those, and obviously hope the teams above them lose. It's been a tough season for City, but it ain't over yet.
So if they don't win those, is it an automatic relegation, not playoffs type thing?
No, it's just bottom 2.
Oh dear.
Bottom 2
okay.
Relegated.
Let's keep fingers crossed.
Yes,
but, need a bit more than fingers crossed. 3
games still to go. Histon City ladies, another win, 3-0. Evie Nichols, player of the match. In their league, I think I did give an update in the last episode, but Harpenden are pulling away a bit for the title. Histon are in fourth. I think they've kind of been around fourth for certainly the times I've been looking at the table. They have several games in hand, so this league will go on a bit longer than the league that the U's are in. They'll be playing into May, and they've only got 2 more home games, and their last home game is on May the 18th. Assuming fixtures stay the same, I would always say check the socials for your women's football
just
just
mix
in
about,
case.
don't they?
Yes, and Cambridge Kodiaks. We would normally be talking to Cambridge Kodiaks, but yet again, we won't be hearing from them because there's not been a game, because they had that postponed game against Peterborough Phantoms, and they haven't played since I last chatted to them. That Phantoms game, I don't believe has currently been rescheduled, but keep an eye on the socials, because, I mean, it'll need to come in fairly soon. And
I did like, by the way, just to cut in there, the Kodiaks April Fool.
Yes. Oh, yes. The
only thing with the April Fool is that we knew that was so the Kodiaks. If you didn't see their April Fool, they were saying they've renamed themselves the Cambridge Cabbages, and they had all these hats, merch, and everything, which was obviously the best bit for me. I mean, we knew because they'd spoken about how they had been. One of the names someone had picked was the Cabbages, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So I was like,
you're
well,
a
you know,
women's
you
sports
can't.
mix fan.
Yeah, you would have known about that. And I'm thinking, well, you can't really use an April Fool with something that actually somebody did want to have.
I don't know whether that we're going to have to ask them that. Did someone genuinely want them to be the Cambridge Cabbages?
Or they just having that,
or was it?
I hope so.
Hilarious ruse. I don't know, but yes, that was.
But
funny
as soon as I saw it, then
up.
you see, because I'd heard mentioned it before, but it was they had like loads of stuff on it, didn't they? Like they were going for a whole. Thing on it. I feel like the standard of April Fools this year has been quite good in various things. So I'm well done everybody that actually thought about it and did something decent. Anyway,
yes, very committed at Cambridge.
Yeah, exactly.
To fooling everyone. And what I don't think I mentioned on the last episode is that Kodiak's captain Christina Ashley, who we often talk to for our updates, has amassed a century of points. This is 60 goals, 42 assists from 29 games.
Wow, that is quite incredible.
And some fun comments on the socials for that one. If you take a look at their Instagram.
So they've still got a few games left, or is it just the one?
They've got. No, they've definitely got a couple at home and a couple away. So a few more to go, and they've got the cup games, I think, to finish as well. So well done, Christina, for that century. Well done from the women's sports mix. And the Kodiaks' next home game is at the Cambridge Ice Arena on Saturday, April the 19th against South London club Streatham Storm.
This is Cambridge Radio, Women's Sports Mix.
You're listening to the Women's Sports Mix with Amy and Alex. And Alex, what are we talking about next?
We're going to talk about the boat race because it's on this Sunday, 13th of April. I was thinking it's coming up soon, and then I've just realised it is actually this weekend. Now, 2 weeks ago when we were talking, the crews weren't being announced till the next day, but they have been announced now. I'm just trying to find them. I've lost them again now, but bear with me. Here we go. So for the women's team, obviously, it says Daniel Orton takes the reins of the Oxford women's blue boat, but we have so that's the Oxford team. So we will go straight onto the Cambridge one because obviously that's the one we're going to do. So in the Cambridge camp, 22-year-old medical student Caris Earle, who learnt to row at her Cambridge College, Gonville Quays, is one of the 2 returning blues from the 2024 boat race. Gemma King is the other returning blue for Cambridge. She has a wealth of experience, and she's also first competed in the light blue, which is the lightweights one, which is the one they... We're looking at the times. I'm just trying to find the times. They do that afterwards, I think. They do, I think it goes men's, women's, or sometimes they do. I'm trying to find it now. I've lost it. I've got to find the link. Bear with me a moment.
The women's lightweight boat race, 12:45
there you go,
on
you've got them,
Saturday.
thank you.
Is that right? And then veterans, then men's veterans, then end up with the. Am I on the right one? Well, there we go. And we've also got
a bullfighter's niece who's coxing a female, Isabel Fisk Harrison. She's 21, third-year classics student at Trinity College. Her uncle is adventure author Alexander Fisk Harrison. And she's leading the lightweight 8 against the Oxford on Saturday for the men. So that she's the cox for the men's team for the lightweights. And thank you to Steffi for providing us with that clip as well. So she'd found it for us. So it's very useful.
And this next one, people come to us now, don't they, with their women's sports. They like to chat to us about it. So this comes from Julian Clover, who'd seen this article. About 70% of Brits who don't like women's rugby have never watched it.
I know. I mean, I feel like if even sending that to me just makes my blood boil because it just shows how blinkered people are. So they were saying in this, they said they hold a negative opinion, but they've never watched it. So I mean, how can you do that anyway? It says so they've done there's been a survey conducted. There's always a survey, isn't it? So with over half of them stating that they're more likely to watch the Guinness Women's Six Nations than a men's equivalent. So that's good. So that's anyone that's actually watched rugby will have that different opinion, which is good. And again, the more, we say this all the time, don't we? The more women's rugby content people see, the more positive their opinion. So this is it. If you see it, you can then realise how good it is. With only 1 in 9 Brits, which is apparently 11%, ever see women's rugby on social media, and 15% recalling seeing it in the news. Although I was just saying to you, because it's the Women's Six Nations now, I've seen a lot more, maybe because I'm aware of it, in the last few years. Definitely the Women's Six Nations, of course, it's televised now. We've got another one on Saturday. You suddenly get all into it and you realise how good it is. And we're going to be giving it a go, aren't we?
We are. What are we thinking? Fabs has roped us into this one. We're going to do a try.
She was so enthusiastic about it and saying that she definitely knows that we're going to enjoy it.
This is Fabia Howell, who we've had on the show a couple of times, and finally she's got us, isn't she?
So we're going to give it a go next week. We will let you know how we get on. We're going to go to their rugby training down at Shelford at Women's Rugby next week. But also this survey found that blah, 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 we've said that bit. This will lead me neatly into the Gladiators, because one of the rugby players, Jodie Ownsley, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, Ownsley. Anyway,
yeah, she's Fury.
So she's Fury, but she's also ex-England 7-star, and also she's plays for Exeter, used to play for Exeter Rugby as well. And she said, I speak to so many people tell them women's rugby isn't for me when they haven't even watched it. I challenge anyone who thinks the game is less physical, less technical and less exciting. So, yes, go and see it. As I say, well, don't go and see us do training next week. Thanks. Give
that one a swerve. But we'll let you know how we get on in the next episode. And if you did watch the Gladiators last weekend, or at the weekend on Saturday, the competitor Xavier was honestly... You thought, okay, she's going to have to stop, and
shouting at the telly
that she kept going, and she won it.
Yes, and she was limping. I mean,
honestly, she was broke. She looked broken.
Well, she got thrown out first in that one where they dropped the balls in the middle.
Power ball.
Yeah,
she got
which
tackled.
is basically rugby tackling. And then she from that, and she got thrown down twice in that, which was a bit mean. I'm guessing that all the gladiators had spotted that she was very good. And they didn't, they weren't going. No one was prepared to let anyone go through on that, were they? They really were giving it all. And then the one with Gauntlet, and she got through, and that she got injured, and then they said you don't have to go on, but you've got so many points. She was like, no, I will go on. That's a true gladiator. That's my voice as well for gladiators. But I feel that might have been a bit of adrenaline.
Yes,
and then she was limping for the limp.
She limped around
and still won.
The Eliminator and still won. It was crazy. And then right after the programme, they actually don't know if they said it on the programme because I stopped watching, but the press, the press release basically went out immediately after.
It's only because I was looking at socials after.
Yeah, to say that Xavier basically couldn't recover in time to do the final. So, I mean, presumably this is all pre-recorded. The final is going to have Anila, who she lost. Anila lost to Xavier, but she had the best time of the other two losers.
And she did that same in the semi-finals as well. She got through on being the best, fastest
so
loser.
She snuck it again.
She's definitely gotten. But they do it over 11 weeks. I found out.
Okay.
Oh no, 11 days. Sorry, they film the whole series over 11 days.
11 days.
And the final was going to be the next day, which is why she couldn't do it.
Because we were saying, I wonder how long. I thought it might be
at least a week. Yeah, me too. But no, so which does make sense because I've signed up for us for next season. Not to be in it. I'm just going to hasten to add.
I'll get my gladiator name ready.
Yeah, exactly. No, for more, we're going to get our foam fingers ready. And
Alex,
it's final this weekend.
she messaged me saying she needs a foam finger.
Exactly. We're ready for the finals this Saturday if you want to watch it, and then obviously there'll be another series at some point.
And our next show is in 2 weeks, April the 22nd, when we'll have that rugby try it for you. Thank you very much for listening today. You can find us on Instagram and at cambridge.radio, and on streaming platforms you can listen on demand. Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.